Do inconsistent eating, overwhelming restaurant choices, or just carb confusion hold you back from achieving the body you want? And you're not alone. I was once too overweight, confused, and discouraged, but I channeled my frustrations to becoming London's best personal trainer and discovered the keys to transforming over 2,500 South Asian bodies worldwide. Today I'm going to give you the clarity, the structure, and the practical strategies that help my client Taryn lose 24 kilos. So imagine going to the doctor for a routine checkup and being told you're on the fast track to a serious health problem. That's exactly where Taryn found himself. At 33 years old, he was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, which was showing blood work heading towards major health complications if he didn't change anything fast. At the time, Taryn weighed over 100 kilos, and years of late nights, high stress working, inconsistent eating, and no real movement had really caught up with him. He wasn't just feeling tired or sluggish anymore, his health was seriously at risk. And the worst part, even though he knew something had to change, he had no idea where to start. Before joining Autonomy, Taryn faced the same struggles that so many busy professionals do. No real structure around food, no consistent exercise habits, a mindset trapped in the all or nothing cycle, and total confusion about how to fit South Asian foods, calories, and a sustainable routine together. And he tried it all, cutting carbs out, jumping between random workouts, but nothing stuck. Every attempt felt restrictive, overwhelming, and impossible to balance with real life, until he found a different way. And let me show you. So problem number one was, what do you do when everyone in the family is eating differently? Have you ever tried staying on plan when your partner wants something vegetarian, your kids want burgers, and you're still trying to eat something high protein? This is one of the most common challenges I hear. Nathan, I have to cook 3 different meals. I can't stay on track. It's too much effort and too much washing up. The kitchen dynamics mean more time is spent, and then we always search for the easiest, quickest options, which aren't always the best. So what do you do when your family eats completely different to you? So Taryn faced the exact struggle. He lives with his vegetarian wife and a daughter who loves Swedish food. Instead of giving up, he built a system. By creating a base meal, either a sauce or a seasoning, Taryn was able to have vegetarian for his wife, which is paneer. He was able to do a chicken dish. He was able to do something different for his daughter, which all came under the same dish itself. It was just about portioning out the protein and then having the sauce around it, which means that no more separate meals. There was just some separate ingredient that added to a smart system within the kitchen. And the second problem for Taryn was looking at what to do when nobody's watching. Have you ever got that friend that is, when they're around other people, they're eating salads, and they're quite large, they're really obese, but yet when they see you, they're always eating the lowest calorie thing, they're always dieting the hardest, they're always going out for those walks and that's cardio, they're always going to their group class, but yet nothing changes. Motivation is easy when someone's watching, but what about those silent moments, late at night, when traveling, or when you're stressed at work? That's when most people fall off their diets, because let's face it, being alone with your choices is the real test. So how did Taryn keep going even though no one was watching? Taryn didn't rely on hype or willpower, he used systems. His app tracked his weights, his workouts, and steps automatically, because when you get feedback on a week-to-week basis, it's great to hold yourself accountable to the decisions you're making, the technology around the stats and the data. It isn't always about you doing the steps or the tracking the data, it's about what that data gives you by you actually doing the input, because you add a layer of accountability when you're the only person there, when you're adding in your steps, when you're putting in your body weight, when you're tracking your workout, you're saying to yourself, I care about this thing enough to apply effort to writing it down. It makes more sense that when no one else is watching, you're watching yourself by adding more data, you're adding more effort to an area that you could easily slack off on, and that's the 10% different that allow you to change your mindset when you're holding yourself accountable, as well as having some coach on the other side helping you add with the strategy and manage your whole project of you losing the weight that you want to lose. So what do you do when it doesn't go to plan? You've got the motivation, you've got the accountability, and you're on track, and then life happens. You travel, injuries, weddings, cravings, you name it. One bad day turns into a bad week and suddenly you're spiraling. So what do you do when things don't go to plan? Taryn's journey wasn't perfect, it was persistent. He traveled to India for a wedding and still trained, upped his steps, and made smart food swaps with salads over burrito. When he hit a weight plateau, he didn't quit. He trusted the process, and when he couldn't hit the gym, he used 5 to 10 minute breaks to move. He mastered micro habits like adding cucumber to every meal, pre-prepping snacks, and sticking to his morning routine. His workouts weren't extreme, but they were consistent. That's how real results happen. Not in perfect conditions, but in how you bounce back from it gets hard. I'll be blue in the face and I keep telling the story, but amateur tennis is dieting, not professional tennis. Let me explain. In amateur tennis, you win by making less mistakes. You win by not hitting the net or hitting it out. Whereas in professional tennis, you make it the perfect shot down the line. You hit that perfect shot that no one can defend. That's professional tennis. Dieting is about those 1,000 efforts that go into your week, into that game where you don't make the mistake. So when you come off and you have to go to India, when you have to go to wedding, when you have to take a little bit of a setback, that happens in anyone's journey. It's about how fast do you get back on board and how do you make the least mistakes as possible. So learning how to have those micro habits of adding salads to each meals, smart food swaps, keeping your steps really high, limits the amount of times that Taran's going to be hitting the net and losing, which means that wherever he is in the world, if he's in India, if he's in Sweden, if he's traveling, he can be successful by not losing big. Hopefully you've enjoyed looking at Taran's journey and some of the things that we overcame using particular strategies. If you want to take a deep dive into Taran's journey a little bit more, the video of the podcast will be all up here. And if you're a South Asian who wants to get in shape and stay in shape forever whilst eating traditional food or just keeping some of the traditions in there, just go to the description, click the link for my call booking with Calendly. You can then speak to my team about getting a coaching space with one of our team and be able to get your journey started like Taran today.